Absolutely. Fan mail. All right. So first question comes in from Red Baron at. He said, "Hey Nelly, great podcast. I have a question. Do you think formations work kind of like rock paper scissors?"
I would tend to agree to a certain extent. In that, yes, if you play a wide formation against 4-1-2-1-2, you can go wide very easily and put in a cross. But in terms of whether it's as effective as, you winning rock, paper, scissors with the opposite pick, no. Because if you play, for example, 4-3-3 against 4-2-1-2, 4-1-2-1-2, you know the one I'm thinking of, the one that everyone plays. If you play that, you're probably not going to be as successful because, like we said, the crossing isn't as great. So it would still require you to play centrally or to do the cutback.
Like at times, formations can kind of just balance each other out. It's like fighting fire with fire. Like at times, it's not going to work. There's going to be no end solution. But sometimes I think using a different formation can really give you the upper hand.
I agree.
It's an interesting point.
Yeah, I've been switching up formations lately a lot. And it's like you said, switching it up can be really good. At the end of the day, though, what I find, if you're playing against somebody that's just better than you, doesn't matter what formation you use, you're going to get destroyed. On the most recent stream, I was doing 4-3-2-1, and then I was switching to 5-2-2-1. I was doing that for the weekend league as well, but I was starting with a different formation. I've been really enjoying that switch. I've noticed definitely players getting frustrated when I switch to 5 at the back, but I don't think it's given me any sort of tactical advantage. It's just that I see they get frustrated and I try to exploit that to my advantage.
Well, I feel like this is something, I think Valerio told me about this, but he said playstyles is what makes games, and I have to agree with that. I think that's the big factor. Formations, not as much. I do find it, though, very interesting. Before I was playing, I don't know, I forgot what formation it was, but making a switch to a formation can completely, revolutionize your games. Like,
Totally.
You can be in a bit of a slump. If you just try out a new formation, you'll see a whole new world, and you might play better, you might play worse. Right, that's right. So I think it's always good to mix up formations. I don't think they work as simple as rock, paper, scissors, but if you're going to struggle, try something new.
I think everyone agrees that they definitely have some importance, but I'm going to go all out and say that the rock, paper, scissors analogy is absolutely perfect. And the reason for that is in FUT Champs, whenever I play with certain formations, I know exactly what formations will cause me trouble. I know that 4-3-3 is great against narrow, and I also know that the one narrow that it's not great against is the 4-3-2-1, because the 4-3-2-1 is 3 central strikers that put way too much pressure on a 4-3-3. So you'd have to go on a 4-2-3-1 there. But I know Poplov said that formations can't change you. I only have one example, so it's not the greatest, but I think it's still worth sharing. I was playing this one guy in a best of 3 in an online tournament, and I felt that this guy was 1,000 times better than me. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was the day, but he had complete control of the game. He wrecked me game 1. Game 2, first half, he wrecked me. I still used the same formation. And then at halftime, it was only 1-0 to my luck. And I just said, you know what, whatever. I'll go 3-4-1-2. And the match changed. I completely dominated him. And then the third game, after winning the second game, I went 3-4-1-2 from the start. And I didn't completely dominate him. It was much more even, and he had to tie it in the last second, and then eventually won it in penalties. But that formation change was probably insane. Like, I've never seen anything like that.
The formation change also came with a gameplay change, though, right? You did a different play style. Or did you kind of play similar? Well, okay, so let's say, I guess it's hard to just look back on a couple of matches, but when you switched formations, did you then try to play like different areas of the pitch? Were you making different styles of passes, that kind of thing?
Not really. I mean, I was just doing my game. I'm a very reactive player. I'm not thinking what I'm doing. I look at what I see and then choose the right options depending on the moment itself. The thing that I noticed specifically, I started with a 4-2-3-1, and it's supposed to cover you defensively, but this guy was causing me to leak holes everywhere. And then I tried 4-3-3-4, nothing changed. I've tried narrow, nothing changed. And then for some reason, with 3 at the back, I covered all of his outlets, everything. He couldn't attack me anymore, and he really had to break me down to get through. It was just the positioning of that formation with my play style that didn't really change when I changed formations to his play style that just caused a huge just momentum shift in my advantage.
What you say has actually some really good merit, because now I'm thinking back to it, and there's actually footage of me on the channel playing against a guy that's playing 3-4-1-2 or something like that, 3 at the back. And actually, I couldn't adapt to it at all. I think I wound up winning like 1-0 or something. But he stuffed me for almost 90% of the match just because I was like, well, I'm not used to this kind of defending.
Yeah, this is what I wanted to ask Valerio was, so when you go up against the opponent, let's say in weekend league, and you see they're running a certain formation and you have your formation, do you change immediately when it's kickoff, or do you play out a little bit? How do you usually deal with that?
Well, basically, I start off with a formation for chemistry, but I've gone lazy recently, so I used to press pause instantly and change. Now I kind of wait 5, 10, 15 minutes, and if I can see that he's not great, I'll stick to it. You just sort of get used to it. You see how many times he gets to your box, and if you start getting worried, you're like, okay, no, I gotta change. And then that's the first thing. If he's not good, I don't care what formation he's having. I'm not switching. I won't be bothered. But if he is good, then yes, I will switch instantly to what I think will counter best and also what I'm used to. Like if I know a certain formation will counter him, like 5 at the back, I've never played with 5 at the back. I don't have the balls to do that in the middle of weekend league, but I'll switch to something I know can work better than whatever I'm using.